Good morning and welcome to the Real Estate Show on KAZI 88.7 FM, the voice of Austin since 1982. I'm your host of the Real Estate Show and my name is Crystal Bennett. And today's topic is looking at Austin from a newcomer's perspective. Being from Austin all of my life, I've been a native here, I've grown up here, I went to school here, I got a job here, and I'm staying here with my family. So I'm from Austin and I've been here for my whole life, and so I've got someone here with a different perspective. I'll let her introduce herself in just a moment, but the topic for today is called, Where's Everybody At? Those of you who may also have the experience of relocating to Austin, whether it was for cultural reasons, family reasons, professional reasons, you may have moved to Austin and found that it's kind of difficult to find people and things that are going on. And so today's topic is called, Where's Everybody At? You know, when I first went to UT and I went to school there, being from Austin, and I met people who moved here from Houston or Dallas or other places across the country, and they were like, "Well, Crystal, where are all the black people?" And I wouldn't understand. I said, "What do you mean, where are all the black people?" And so I didn't understand what it was like to have the perspective of a newcomer here in Austin, especially specifically being a black newcomer to Austin. So today's guest will help us answer the question of where's everybody at. So welcome, and let's introduce today's guest, Dr. Monica Anderson. Welcome, Monica.
Well, Crystal, I'm Monica Frazier Anderson, a native Texan, but I'm new to Austin. I've been here about 2 years. I am a doctor of dental surgery. I practice for a large nonprofit healthcare organization here in Austin. Writer, speaker, just really love my new community, but as you mentioned in your opening, I am new in the sense that I've been here a couple of years, and people that have been here 2 years or even up to 5 years, I think is the point where you stop feeling like a newcomer, know that it can be a bit of a transition, particularly depending on if you're coming from a larger, more diverse city. So I came up with the idea for the Austin Black Newcomers Association because I wanted other people to have an easier transition to finding the African American program, resources, events, and all the other wonderful quality of life initiatives that are existing here, but can be a little bit more difficult to find when you don't know anyone to tell you about it.
Well, that's how it's kind of related to real estate, in that, you know, people come to the Austin area because it is so highly ranked for different reasons, you know, whether it's the quality of life, whether it's the weather, whether it's the cost of living. There are many different reasons why people would come to the Austin area, but it's the diversity of cultures that come to the Austin area. But you as an African American will help give us the perspective of what it's like for somebody who is new to Austin. As I said before, I don't have that perspective of having always been in Austin. I don't have the perspective of know what it's like to be in Austin, so I know where things are, I know how to find things, I know where people are. But as a new person, how hard was that transition, trying to connect with your culture, trying to connect with your people, being brand new into the city of Austin?
It was very hard, surprisingly so. I did not realize until I got here that the majority of the moves that I've made, I've been able to quickly make friends because either I knew a lot of people already, I was going to school where you've got an easy network, or because of my children and the parents of their friends. And so there was always a way to get connected to the community, to have people tell me about things from where the radio station was to what websites, you know, catered to African American demographics. But when I got here, from the community I live in to even where I work, I'm the only African American dentist there. So there was nobody to tell me about the links and the National Council of Negro Women. And as I shared with you earlier, I started having withdrawal at one point. I literally went for 3 weeks without having physical contact, meaning a conversation one-on-one with another African American. I was traveling at the time, not able to go to church. I told someone else that, and they said, "Well, didn't you go to church?" Well, I do go to church. I'm a member of a great church here, but that can't be your only resource anymore with the way our community is. And that is an important pillar of our community. But people are going to different churches now. If they live in Lago Vista, they may go to church there. There need to be other ways to find out about what's going on in the community beyond what has traditionally been the role of just the church, which is still a great source of learning. But for a number of reasons, everybody doesn't go to church, or they don't even have announcements anymore like they used to. So it was very hard for me, and I was very surprised. And so I just went on a search to find. I knew they were here. I just went on a search to find where are the organizations, and Eastern Star to my sorority. And as I was doing that, I saw more and more resources, more and more things I had no idea even existed after being here. The organization is very new. After being here a year and a half, I didn't know they had 2 chapters of links. I'm like, how do I not know this? Well, I hadn't been in contact with someone who shared that with me. I don't want that to happen to anyone else. So I'm trying to make it a little bit easier to connect. Culture is important, and there's no reason to give it up.
And, it used to be, as you mentioned before, one of the traditional avenues of meeting new people in a new city was the church. Not so long ago, if you joined a new city, you would join a church, and that would be your basis of cultural, basis of your social, maybe your professional networking. That's how you got in, and that's where you heard the announcements. You read the bulletin board, and you got information through your church. Also, I don't think a lot of people use the networking of, not everybody reads the NACOA or the Villager to know what's going on. They might read the Austin American Statesman, and we don't necessarily advertise in the Austin American Statesman. So it is, the lack of information can make it even more isolating. Was that one of the hardest things, the isolation here in Austin when you're a new person?
It was tough. And even in regards to NACOA and the Villager and Ujima, they're not everywhere. At my HEB, they don't have them. I was probably here a year before I saw a copy at the beauty shop. So those media outlets are listed as well on our website, because if you are not in a particular beauty shop or an outlet, wherever they distribute them, you may not see those. And I think sometimes people take for granted that you'll run across them, but it really was a year before I knew about a couple of those publications, and they're wonderful publications, great resources, but again, they're not everywhere for obvious reasons. They've got particular distribution outlets. I wish they were everywhere like the Chronicle, but it's a much more of a challenge, and because geographically Austin is so huge as well, it's a great challenge.
And you can't go to one particular area of the city anymore and find this is where everybody's at. This is the restaurant where everybody hangs at, or this is the club where everybody goes to, or this is the place where everybody is. So you do need to understand that there's going to be a variety of places, and it may not always be just about a black church or the black neighborhood, because those really don't exist anymore with the diversity of Austin. And speaking of diversity, the percentage of African Americans is not only less than 10%, it's declining. How is that a challenge for newcomers coming into the city, knowing that you're becoming part of a rare breed, even among those who are existing native Austinites?
Well, I hope that's a trend that we can reverse with the initiatives being taken by the city, the Cap City Chamber, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, because as I understand it from the city demographer, at one point it was approaching 15%, and now we're talking about somewhere between 7 and 5, and a lot of people don't realize that we are the only population declining. And thus, part of my inspiration for this organization, for a city this awesome with so much to offer, and yet, there are fewer and fewer African Americans here with each passing census, and that is already being addressed. I'm just trying to add to what is already being done because of my perspective on this area that's a little niche that needs, I feel like needs some attention, and I'm just trying to do what I can to add on to what's already being done.
What kind of cultural challenges does that present when you have such a low number of percentage-wise of African Americans, and whether it's the Asian community is growing, and the Anglo community, and especially the Hispanic community is really kind of that's why we're going down in percentage numbers. It may not necessarily be the hard numbers that are going down, but our percentage in the overall relationship of others is going down. What kind of cultural challenges does that present to not only newcomers, but just for anyone?
Well, as I understand it, actually the hard numbers are going down. It's not just that the other populations are growing, which is part of my concern, is that the actual numbers are going down of African Americans. And I'd like diversity. I mean, I've been part of my diversity my entire life, but ethnically, culturally, all populations have a certain kinship. And I don't want it to sound like I'm saying, all black people just want to go to certain clubs or be parts of certain organizations. But if you want to, I want you to know about the resources that are available. I'm just as likely to go to the Austin Museum of Art as I am to go to MJ's, but I should have that choice. And I should be able to find, if I feel like hip-hop and rap, I should be able to find it. When you look in the, Chronicle, which I like, there are all these bands. I don't know what they play. I've never heard of them. I don't know if they're R&B. I don't know if they're jazz. I have no idea.
Austin is really known for its festivals and the different things that go on, but there's not something that's always catered or there's not some, except for the Urban Music Fest and other things. And I think as a newcomer, I can pretty much tell you with confidence, there are mainly a few weekends that you're going to have a lot of black people in town. That's going to be Texas Relays Weekend. Mm-hmm. And then Juneteenth. There's always something going on the Juneteenth time period or something around Martin Luther King Day. So except for, Martin Luther King, Black History Month, Texas Relays Weekend, and Juneteenth, any other time in between there, it's kind of catch it as you can. And so there are a lot of things that are going on in between that. But if you don't know about it, that's one of the toughest things. And how does your organization, in terms of providing a portal of information, that can be a positive impact for people who are native Austinites or been here for a long time?
Well, let me be clear. My primary purpose is to get people involved in the community, especially nonprofits. It's not just events, because there's spoken word. There are all kind of events going on, but I think community involvement adds a third dimension to your connection to the community. I want people to get involved, get on boards, get on commission, have membership in the NAACP, in the links, in National Panhellenic, whatever appeals to you. I really, really am about people getting involved in the community, not just events, because there's a lot of events. Soul City, Urban Life and Style are wonderful about promoting events, but I want them to know they can go to the Austin History Center and read about the history of blacks in the past. Houston-Tillotson University has resources, the Jacob Fontaine Religious Museum. All of these things are on our site as well. Culture, Ballet Afrique, the Black Media Council, the Pro Arts Collective. So there are a number of arts and cultural resources and opportunities, and they're doing things as well, but sometimes on a small scale. They don't have the budget to, advertise in the media or so if I hear about an event they have, I want people to know about that, but I also want them to get involved in these organizations to support them so that they can continue to provide quality programs, events, do things to help youth, women, children. They're doing some great things in the community, and our website is a portal to them, to help you get to them, to help you know about them, and then they will help you get more involved in the community.
That's excellent. And speaking of the website, if you are interested, that information is austinblacknewcomers.org.